have to do is pay attention because I will give you all the answers myself. So let's get started. A sentence is a complete thought. In written words, a sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a period, question mark, or exclamation point. Sentences can contain many different parts, but in order to be complete, they must have at least one subject and one predicate. The subject consists of a noun that names the central character, the person, place, or thing. The predicate includes a verb which either describes the subject or names the action. The predicate also includes most modifiers and any direct or indirect object, which are persons, places, or things that are acted upon. Well, that seems easy enough, but do you realize we have 5 combinations for simple sentences? And that's just simple sentences. We can link their components to create compound and complex sentences. Why do you suppose there are so many sentence structures? Well, different structures allow us to express ourselves in more interesting ways. Communication would be boring if we only had one type of sentence. Sam ate a sandwich. Sam brushed his teeth. Sam drank some juice. Sam watched the football game. See what I mean? So let's get busy and learn all of the sentence structures to make our writing more exciting. In order to learn all of the combinations, we'll label our sentence parts with code abbreviations. The structures or patterns are easier to remember that way. Here's a symbol key. S means subject, V means verb, LV means linking verb, DO means direct object, IO means indirect object, SC means subject complement, and OC means object complement. The first sentence structure is called SV for subject verb. Here is an example. The quarterback hesitated. The subject is quarterback and the verb is hesitated. The verb hesitate is an action that the subject performs on his own with no receiver. We can add modifiers without changing the basic structure. For instance, the quarterback hesitated briefly. The modifier briefly is an adverb which describes hesitated. The modified sentence still follows the SV structure. Now, if we add a direct object, the sentence structure becomes subject, verb, direct object. This new structure requires a different verb, one that takes the direct object. Look at this sentence. The quarterback dropped the ball. The direct object is the ball. The ball receives the action. Note, direct objects are always nouns. Our first 2 structures feature active verbs, verbs that describe an action. The third structure is the only sentence structure which does not feature active verbs. Instead, the third structure uses the linking verb. Its combination is S, LV, SC. Linking verbs do just what their name implies. They link the subject to its subject complement. All of the to be verbs are linking verbs. Is, are, was, were, and became. Other linking verbs like feels, looks, and seems connect subjects to subject complements as well. Subject complements are nouns or adjectives that rename or describe the subject. Here's an example. The coach looks unhappy. Rather than an action, the linking verb looks describes the subject's state of being. In this case, the adjective unhappy is the subject complement that describes the coach. Now, let's get back to the active verb structures before the coach blows his top. The last 2 sentence structures build on the SVDO structure we talked about earlier. The fourth structure combination is SVIODO, subject, verb, indirect object, direct object. Indirect objects name a person, place, or thing like the direct object, but they have a different relationship in the sentence. Let's see an example. The quarterback throws the wide receiver the ball. The wide receiver is the indirect object, and the ball is the direct object. The direct object directly receives the action, while the indirect object receives the direct object. Are you thoroughly confused? Look at this diagram. The direct object, the ball, directly receives the action, and the indirect object, or the wide receiver, receives the direct object. The fifth and last simple sentence structure has an object complement instead of an indirect object. An object complement behaves like the subject complement, except it describes the direct object, not the subject. This fifth combination is SVDOOC, subject verb direct object object complement. To illustrate, here's a sample sentence. The wide receiver ran the post pattern, his favorite route. The last phrase, his favorite route, is a noun phrase which does the job of the object complement. It renames the direct object post pattern. Object complements can be nouns or adjectives. This SVDOOC pattern is the last simple sentence combination. Let's review the big five before we move on to the quiz. Subject verb, subject linking verb, subject complement, subject verb direct object, subject verb indirect object, direct object. Finally, subject verb direct object, object complement. And there you have it, the 5 basic sentence structures or patterns. I think you're ready to play ball. Next up, my friends have some quiz questions for you, so get out your pencil and paper.
Get ready, it's quiz time!
Answer Hunter here. I'm looking for some amazing questions, and I thought, what a better place than this cave? Why don't you figure out the answer to this next question?
Which structure does this sentence represent? My dog rolled over.
A. Subject, verb. B. Subject, linking verb, subject complement. Or C. Subject, verb, direct object.
I knew we could find one. Write down your answer, and let's see what else we can find.
You can never be too careful in my line of work. I think that the next question was just here.
True or false? Linking verbs require a direct object.
Aha! The perfect print. Did you pick the perfect answer? Write it down and I'll dust for some more evidence.
All right, good job now, good job, good job. We're still in this thing now, but we got to get that next question. Which structure does this sentence represent? Kelly is 12 years old.
A. Subject, verb. B. Subject, linking verb, subject complement. Or C. Subject, verb, direct object.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, go, 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 go! All right, we are back in this game. So write down that answer.
Howdy everyone, Wendy River here to present the first question in our roundup. Here it comes. Identify the underlined phrase. The cat sharpened its claws. A, indirect object. B, direct object. Or C, object complement. How'd you do, partners? Write down your answer and let's mosey on down to the next question.
Hey groovy guys and groovy gals, your number one DJ Ricky Wave here on KVQZ, spinning another question your way. Which structure does this sentence represent? Sheila plays drums.
A. Subject, verb. B. Subject, verb, indirect object, direct object. Or C. Subject, verb, direct object.
All right, that was smooth. Now you've heard the latest. Write down your answer and stay tuned for the next hit question.
Hi there! I thought I'd come out of my bottle to throw a quick question your way. True or false? Object complements renamed direct objects. Well, how did you do? Did the answer appear in a puff of smoke for you? Write it down and I will appear again later.
Hello, I am Quizzitor. I am about to show you another question. Please get ready. Identify the underlined phrase. John gave his little brother a wristwatch. A. Indirect object. B. Direct object. Or C. Object complement. How did you do? Please write your answer down and await further instructions. This is Quizzitor, logging off.
Rock climbing is a team effort. You need a good partner to hang onto your rope. On belay!
Which structure does this sentence represent? Katrina offered me a soda.
A. Subject, verb. B. Subject, verb, indirect object, direct object, or C. Subject, verb, direct object.
Way to go! Write down your answer and continue to move the right way.
Ahoy! Salty Gales here. I've just come back from a grand adventure. Maybe someday I'll tell ye about it. But first, here's the next question. Identify the underlined phrase. The sea is a moody tyrant. A. Object complement. B. Linking verb. Or C. Subject complement. Well, what do you think? Be sure to write your answer down. The 7 C's are calling me, so I'll be shipping out.
Hey there! While I practice my moves, why don't you try this out? Which structure does this sentence represent? Sarah named her dog Rusty.
A. Subject, verb. B. Subject, verb, indirect object, direct object, or C. Subject, verb, direct object, object complement.
How did you do? Mark down your answers and try this.
Welcome back, everybody. How are those questions?